Good morning, and thanks for watching another Glenn Maney Talks Chelsea. Didn't do this last night. I wanted to sleep on it, and nothing got better overnight. It was awful. That was an awful performance, and I think against a very good Leicester team. Don't get me wrong, but it was an awful performance. And you know what? I'm annoyed this morning. I was annoyed last night, but having thought about it, I'm even more annoyed this morning at the total lack of effort, lack of doing the basics right. Things like that you're taught when you're a 10-year-old, like run with your man and get goal side. Our coach, I don't know if he had any qualifications. I doubt it. He was just one of the dads. But the first thing he drilled into us was run with your man and get goal side. And we were a bunch of 10-year-olds. And you've got guys there on 50, 100, 150 grand a week playing for that Chelsea team who can't run with their man and get goal side. Either can't or can't be bothered. And last night it looked like can't be bothered. I didn't go on the Chelsea official website. I normally watch the drivel that they come out with after the game. Well, we've got to work harder on the training pitch. No, you've got to work harder on the pitch. You've got to concentrate on the pitch. You've got to do the basics that any 10-year-old could do and would have done better than you lot last night against Leicester if they had the fitness and the physique, because a 10-year-old has the mentality to do that. I'm sorry if you don't want to see a negative vlog, then you're probably best turning off now. And I'm sorry, I'm not normally like that, but I'm fuming. I'll go through my notes. Naive defending, the first goal. Pulisic went out there against two men. There was 3 or 4 Chelsea players watching. One of them surely would think, getting back to our 10-year-olds, one of them would think, oh, there's 2 men there and we've got only one. I know what's going to happen. He's probably going to pass to him. As a 10-year-old thinking that, and he would run out to him. Our lot, no. There's a multitude of players there. You go back and watch it. I think there's 4 that can go to him. None of them do. I suppose if John Terry was in the side, he would have gone behind where Abraham was and sent Abraham out there. But you shouldn't need a captain, legend, leader to tell you to do the basics. And that is, if you see 2 against 1, you're probably going to want to go and make it 2 against 2. It's not rocket science, not big tactics, nothing that Allegri, Klopp or Guardiola can teach to a player. If you can't count, then you're in big trouble. Mendy couldn't do a lot about the mishit shot. That would have beat anyone in the world. Second goal. James, I don't know if it was laziness, naivety or lack of concentration, but just let Maddison have as much space as he wanted. I don't know what Rudiger was doing. I'd like to know what Zuma did wrong, and I'm not the biggest fan of Zuma. I think he's brilliant in the air. Sometimes on the floor he looks like a newborn gazelle, as I've said before. But I'd like to know what he'd done wrong. Because all Rudiger did last night was pass sideways, pass back to the goalkeeper, and make an almighty balls up when trying to sort of complete a basic defensive error. There's other chances that fell to Leicester as well. I've got here that Justin, and their number 2 chance for Leicester, Reece James on walkabouts. I don't know if he thought it was in Australia, going to have a walk around the bush, or what he was doing, but I'll tell you what he wasn't doing. He wasn't marking. And Callum Hudson-Odoi, in the same move, just stopped. Just stopped. I don't know why. You think, oh, I'll run back in case someone wants to help me. Now, Callum Hudson-Odoi, there was such a clamour for him to be in that side. And I said myself, yeah, he probably deserves a start. And when he has come on for 13 minutes, 15 minutes and 20 minutes, and when he has played it, when he played against Morecambe, he was defending as well. He was getting back. He was putting a proper shift in. Last night, nothing. One ball crossed in that went straight to the goalkeeper. No forward had a chance of getting that. And 2 times where he tried to take the guy on the outside when there was no space to go on the outside, and got the ball taken off him. And what did he do when he lost the ball? Nothing. He stood and watched. If that is how he's going to develop, next time Bayern Munich come in with a 30 million bid, get him out. I'm sorry, but too many times, he's a young lad, he's a fit lad, presumably. He's got to start using this defensively. Everyone moaned about Willian. You might as well have Willian out there last night because he'd have put a better defensive shift in than Callum Hudson-Odoi did. And Callum Hudson-Odoi, whose ability is presumably going forward, couldn't even manage that last night. Yeah, I was like, Callum Hudson-Odoi just left his man, and Reece James. It was awful last night defensively, Reece James. Chelsea seemed unable to beat a man. What else have I got on here? And unlucky with a penalty. Was unlucky on the penalty. You know, that was so debatable. I've kept watching it again and again. Even their VAR tape, their VAR slow motion tape, and I've slowed it down again on my telly. If his front foot wasn't on the line, and if it's on the line, it's a penalty. It must have been half an inch. And what happened to giving the advantage to the forward? That's just gone right out the window with VAR. Mendy, a good save from Tielemans, or that would have been 3-0. Fofana is Leicester's Forrest Gump. Goal, Fofana, goal. There was one moment he ran there. He wasn't running anywhere. He was just running into the crowd if there'd been one there. 66 minutes, Callum Hudson-Odoi's first cross straight into the hands of Schmeichel. So then we had Ziyech on for Callum Hudson-Odoi and Werner on for Havertz. Abraham was consistently offside last night. Again, not using your brain. When you're 10 and you're a forward, look along the line. There you go. You look along the line, drop a yard, and then go. Once the ball's kicked. That's an England international. That's an England international. He's got a... I don't rate Tammy Abraham. I'm not going to beat about the bush. Against Morecambe, I think it was against... No, he didn't play against Morecambe. The last time he played, he put a shift in. He puts a shift in defensively. Not so much last night. Thought everyone else is not bothered. Why should I? A couple of times he came back. I'll give him a credit where credit's due. Come back a couple of times, a couple of defensive headers. Come back a couple of more times than Callum Hudson-Odoi did. So well done, Tammy Abraham. That means you weren't the worst player in the side. Never looked like scoring. Hold up play non-existent. I don't see it. At least when Werner came on, we had pace. He's very unlucky with the goal again. This advantage to the striker can't exist anymore. I'll have to get a rule book. I don't think that can exist anymore. It used to say in black and white, advantage to the forward. And if that's advantage to the forward, that's not a clear and obvious mistake. But there you go. That's VAR for you. Werner unlucky with the goal. Werner at least gave us a little bit of impetus, made us look as if we could get something up there. It's a shame that goal was disallowed because it was a decent goal. So that's me, folks. I'm sorry to be so negative, but I am fuming. I am fuming. I had a quick look this morning. I didn't go on social media last night. You lot will know that, but I thought it's going to be Lampard out, this, that, and the other. And yeah, it is the manager's job to get the best out of those players. But when you've had Conte moaning about some of the effort someone put in, when you've had Sarri saying this lot are hard to motivate, and you've got a club legend who always gave 100%, always gave 100%, left everything on that pitch as manager, and he can't motivate that lot. And I'm sorry, but he's going to have to go full Alex Ferguson on him. Hairdryer, I dread to think what I'd have thrown at that lot last night. Absolute disgrace to that badge. That badge even. I'm ever so good with technology, aren't I? Absolutely disgrace to that badge. The badge that I've loved for 50 years now. A little bit over 50 years, and they are a disgrace. Everyone apart from Mason Mount and maybe Pulisic. I think Pulisic is just trying too hard. He's looking around him thinking, what a bunch of non-trying imbeciles I'm teamed up with. I'll try going on my own because he's trying too hard. He's trying to dribble past 4 or 5 players, and I'd probably do the same if I was him with his ability. Mason Mount, excellent again. I'll tell you what, I feel sorry for that poor lad. And when I think of the stick that some of the cabbages gave him, he's still getting some stick on some of the overseas forums now. I don't know what they want from a player. The young lad always puts in a shift. He's had 3 sort of quiet games this year. Still put a shift in, but quiet by his own standards, when I thought he looked knackered. But last night again, him, Pulisic, Thiago Silva, the only players that I thought were giving 100% effort. The only players. Can't really include the goalkeeper. He was obviously trying his best. But yeah, those 3 players. So when you've got 3 players playing against a team that can go top of the league, going against a team with the work rate that Leicester City have got, there's only going to be one winner. Only going to be one winner. Yes, we can moan about the penalty. Yes, we can moan about the offside decision. But you know what? If we'd got a point last night, it would have been daylight robbery. We were a disgrace. Frank Lampard, I'll support him to the end, you know that. But he has got to get seriously Alex Ferguson with them lazy lot of idiots. They don't deserve their money. They don't deserve to be playing with that badge on them. That badge on them even. They don't deserve it. Simple as that. And we're not getting better. We're getting worse. All that, you can be the most talented bloke in the world, and if you're standing in one place, ain't gonna do you any good in the world. It ain't gonna do you any good at all, is it? Sorry, muffling my words. I'm fuming. Right, I'm gonna call it a day. I'm just gonna score these players. Mendy, I'll give him a 6. Didn't actually have too much to do, but what he did okay. Nice and safe in the air. Good save from Tielemans, as I said. Felt a bit sorry for him, really, with the cover that he had last night. Surprising that we looked a lot tighter with Zuma and Silva there. And as soon as Rudiger comes back, we look a mess. Not blaming Rudiger on his own, but we do. We look a mess. He goes out of position. He doesn't concentrate. He's got Reece James on walkabout. It's just a mess at the back there again. Reminds me of last season. Anyway, sorry. Concentrate on these scores. Yeah. He gets Mendy gets a 6. Reece James gets a 3. One of the worst performances I've seen from a right back in a blue shirt in the 50 years I've been watching them. Lack of concentration, lack of spatial awareness, lack of effort. Yeah, lack of effort, in my humble opinion. Rudiger, a 4. A 4. Pretty awful. Out of position. No spatial awareness. Sometimes lacks the effort to get into positions he should be in. Ball watches. Thiago Silva gets a 7 from me. One of the few that was actually putting a shift in. Tried getting forward when he could see that we had no creativity apart from Mason Mount. Tried getting forward and putting a few balls through. So 7. I forgot Chilwell, didn't I? Yeah, Chilwell gets a 4. Played so within himself. Couple of really bad errors that fortunately didn't get punished. Lack of awareness, lack of effort to get back. Midfield. Kovacic, better than he was at the weekend, but didn't really inspire me in any way, shape or form. Went in and out of the game. Sometimes made the runs I was expecting him to make. Sometimes didn't defend in areas where I expected him to defend. Kovacic gets a 5 from me. Mason Mount gets a 9 because I felt sorry for him. He put a proper shift in, worked hard defensively. A young player who learned that you got to track back with your player. It was one game, I think it might have even been Leeds when we conceded the goal. I can't really remember, but he learnt from it, and the lad's just an excellent footballer. And all those that gave him stick should either bow their head in shame or just not comment again. Because if you can't see that he's one of the best, should be the first name on the team sheet really in that side, then you've got big problems, football-wise at least. Havertz gets a 4. I know the lad's struggling. He went on one run, you know, when he just left 3 players. And I thought, why aren't you doing that all game? He tried to put it through someone's legs. You could see what he was trying to do. And if that had come off, it would have been brilliant. But he gets back. So normally he gets back a lot, Havertz. You know, for all the stick, you got the effort. Last night, I thought he lacked effort. Callum Hudson-Odoi gets a 3 from me. Thought he was shocking. Absolutely stunk the place out. And incredibly lazy performance. Stunk the place out. Pulisic gets a 6 from me. Trying too hard to make up for his incredibly lazy, incredibly inept teammates. Tammy Abraham gets a 4 from me. Can't hold a ball up to save his life. Doesn't understand the offside rule, obviously. Not just last night, but this season in general. No physical presence for a bloke of his size. He should be challenging Joshua and Fury for heavyweight champion of the world. 6'5" and whatever he weighs. He looks so easily bundled off the ball by a guy last night. Was it Famana? Who looked about 5 inches shorter and about 2 stone lighter. Sorry. Absolutely rubbish. CH, come on. I'm going to give him a 3. I'm surprised he didn't come on with his sun lounger, because that's the effort that lad put in. And then some of the things he was trying in dangerous areas. on the edge of our box trying to dribble past someone. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say about it. I'm just glad I wasn't a manager in that dressing room last night, because it don't matter how much experience is in there. I'd have been on an assault charge probably this morning and out of a job. That's how bad they were. Werner, when he came on, I'm going to give him a 6.5, because at least he looked a threat. Not saying that when he got through he would have scored, but at least he looked a threat, and at least he was coming back and defending. So I got a lot of time for him. Frank last night, I'm going to give Frank a 4. He picks the team. At the end of the day, the buck stops with him. Why he picked Rudiger above Zuma, I would love to know. I'd love to have Frank in the room and say, Frank, why would you make that decision, please? Because I love me football. I love me Chelsea. Can't see why you've done that. Why Billy Gilmore's not in that side to add a little bit of creativity and a little bit of bite. Billy don't mind getting stuck in, but he's also got the ability to give through ball that's creative. You know, he's more positive, and you know you're going to get 100% effort. I don't know why he's not in the side. You know, I wouldn't have Tammy Abraham. You know, if we turn up with 10 men, if we turn up with 10 men, I'd probably still put Tammy sub. I know it's being unfair, and I'm sorry. And the lad does prove me wrong occasionally, particularly putting a shift in, but that's how highly I rate him. And last night, the same with Callum Hudson-Odoi, I'd have had him standing on the side, just having 10 men playing. That's as much use as he was. That's all the scores, isn't it? I'm sorry, folks. It's really negative. I'm going to get behind Frank. I want him to do well, so well. I love him to bits. I loved him as a player. And you know what? I love him as a manager. Some of the stuff we played last season and at the start of this season was excellent. Absolutely excellent. So we know he can do it. I don't know if something's gone wrong in the training room, on the training ground, or the dressing room split or something. You hear the odd rumour, but you can't put any store on it. But he's got to sort it out, and he's got to sort it out quick. I fully expect him, to be honest with you, to get the sack today, because you know how Roman is. I hope he don't, and I shall carry on supporting him, but he's got a... We had no style last night. I couldn't see where it was going. So we need to rediscover. He needs to rediscover his philosophy, but you need the players to put in the effort to do that. You know, the style is very similar to that of Liverpool that he's trying to play. And Jesus, look at the difference in work rate between that lot and our bunch of numpties. That's all from me. I shall speak to you after the FA Cup game at the weekend. And sorry to be so negative. Onwards and upwards. Up there, Chelsea.